Hello students, welcome to the oliveboard platform. Competitive examinations in today's world cannot be merely cracked by studying. We are well aware of that. What we need to walk that extra mile. And in today's world, what would be extra than the availability of data? Data in the form of previous year questions, previous year papers, which can be deeply and thoroughly analyzed to understand what exactly is the pattern, what exactly is the trend which is being followed majorly by the examiner, what are the level of questions which are being asked, and what are the most important topics on which extra emphasis need to be laid. This video exactly does that for you. So watch it till the end if you are looking for an in-depth strategy for preparation of RRB NTPC examination, along with the exact blueprint analyzing from previous year papers. So we'll start the video right away. We'll first start with the blueprint section. So what have I done is, I have analyzed 3 different papers of RRB NTPC at both levels, CBT 1 and CBT 2, so that you can get a complete mixed idea as to how and what happens in these examinations, particularly for the logical reasoning section, right? So if I look at the logical reasoning section, these are all your topics, all your major topics which are covered in any examination, any competitive examination as far as logical reasoning is concerned. Now I'll explain to you what the data says. Okay, what we have done is, this is the examination RRB NTPC CBT 2 graduate level 17 January 2017, RRB NTPC CBT 2 graduate level 9th May 2022. These dates are those dates on which the actual exam was conducted, but obviously this was for NTPC 2015 when the notification was out, and this was for NTPC 2019 when the notification was out, but obviously the papers were held later. And this year in the mix is for RRB NTPC CBT 1, which is common for all the levels, both undergraduate and graduate levels, held on 4th January 2021, right? So this gives you the criteria of the latest examination, and this is a slightly old examination. RRB, obviously we are well aware that does not conduct examinations regularly, but the pattern more or less remains common. Now, these are all the topics here. I have mentioned that from each topic, how many questions have been asked so far. So if you look at this one, 17 January 2017 CBT 2, roughly 35 questions are asked in CBT 2 from the logical reasoning section, and roughly 30 questions are asked in CBT 1 from the logical reasoning section, but that is roughly. The exact numbers are here in front of you, and it is different in each examination. So it becomes difficult for you to set an exact trend. Okay, now alphabet test, we have 1 question in 2017, none here, none here. Analogy, 3 questions here, 2 questions here, 2 questions here. So this becomes a very crucial topic. Blood relations 311, coding decoding 352. So you can also understand that in one particular year what was the importance of the topic and how it has gradually increased. Okay, classification, cube and cuboid, clock, calendars, we have 1 question only in 2022 CBT 2. Counting of figures, and these are only one, this is only for 1 shift. Obviously there will be slight variation if you check for more shifts, right? So this you can use it as a template, and you yourself can also add to this analysis for your personal utilization, right? Counting of figures, you can see 3 questions in 2021 CBT 1. 3 questions, 2 were from triangle counting and 1 was for straight line counting, all 3 in the same shift in the same paper. Critical reasoning, 2 questions in 2017 were asked, statement conclusion based, 1 in 2021 CBT 1, none in 2022 CBT 2. Dice based questions were not there. Distance direction 1, maybe randomly somewhere. Dictionary logical arrangement 1 here. Data sufficiency 2 and 1. Embedded figures, fillers, inequalities 1 was asked in the latest examination. So now slightly a new topic has been introduced where the questions were not there initially. Input output none. Logical Venn diagrams none. Mathematical operators, we have seen a few questions from there. Mirror water images, order and comparison, paper cutting and folding, pattern completion, puzzle, ranking, series, syllogism, sitting arrangement, right? So you can see the vertical total gives you how many questions were asked in that shift from this particular subject, that is logical reasoning. So 28 questions of logical reasoning in CBT2 2017, 32 questions of logical reasoning in CBT2 2022. So this was the closest to the actual mark, and 26 in 2021 CBT1. Okay. Now there is another sum which I have taken. From these three examinations, I have also taken a horizontal sum. That is, if you take topic wise, let's say alphabet test, so I have 1 plus 0 plus 0, I have 1 here in this column, right? If I have, let's say, blood relations, 3 plus 1 plus 1, so I have 5 here. Now, based on this analysis, if you go for the top 4 most important topics, so what are they? If you see, in the last these 3 examinations, both CBT1, CBT2 combined, just 1 shifts each, RRB has asked majority questions from the series section. And majority means it's a vast majority. 4 questions in 2017 CBT2, 5 questions in 2022 CBT2, and 7 questions in 2021 CBT1. 7 questions out of 26 were from the series section. Series combines both number and letter series. So this becomes one of the most important aspects. So you need to have a thorough understanding of series, and you have to have a lot of practice for that. The second most important topic becomes 10 questions from coding decoding. 3 questions in 2017, 5 questions in 2022, and 2 questions in 2021 CBT1. The third most important topic becomes sitting arrangement. 3 questions, 5 questions, 1 question in the different years. And there are actually 2 topics on the 4th position. So I have chosen syllogism here. Syllogism, there were 7 questions in all, 2, 3, 2, and analogy also 3, 2, 2. So analogy also is another topic here which you can consider to be the 4th most important topic. So these are a mixture of top 4 most important topics which are required for you to focus on as far as logical reasoning section is concerned. What are the key takeaways from this data? Whatever data we saw, we extracted and we analyzed. This is not available anywhere. These papers are available in public domain, so you can see, get this data and try to draw your own analysis, your own conclusions. We are there to help you for that, right? So what are the key takeaways here? The key takeaways are that the top 4 most important topics, as I told you, series, number and letter series, coding, decoding, sitting arrangement, syllogism. You can add analogy here as a 5th topic also. So the idea here is, I'm not asking you to read only these. I am telling you that these ones become the most important, the most pivotal topics for you to prepare in logical reasoning section. So you go through them thoroughly, prepare them absolutely without any errors, and practice as much as possible even before the examination, right? So this becomes a key. Apart from this, if you observe all the 3 years, all the 3 different papers which I had considered and shown you, there is no definite pattern which is being followed. Apart from these topics, you cannot find a definite pattern. In some year, 1 question has been asked from calendars. In other years, it has not been asked. In some years, 1 question or 2 questions have been asked from ranking in the same shift. In other years, they have not been asked. So there is also not a definite pattern whether you can leave a topic or not. So you have to do this. You can isolate that. But can you leave a topic? I would not suggest that. So that brings us to point number 2, that there is no fixed pattern and the questions may be asked from any topic. Thus, leave no stone unturned. That is, you have to cover everything as much as possible, specifically from the logical reasoning section and the quantitative aptitude section, I would suggest. And the language and the for the GK section, you can go slightly on the, you can leave some topics there, because the syllabus is quite vast. The level of questions so far is easy to moderate, so you can prepare. Your preparation has to be moderate to difficult. So see, that is always what I say to my students. If you see that the level of paper is somewhere here, your preparation always has to be a notch above it, or maybe 2 notches above it, so that it becomes very comfortable for you while you are sitting in the examination, because the exam stress and nervousness adds to the pressure which is going on there. So keep that in mind. Now let's discuss some strategies for us. So I'll be telling you general strategies. Okay, we'll discuss general strategies. Now, as far as the general strategy is concerned, this is a 6-month normal regular roadmap for any aspirant for any competitive examination, right? For any competitive examination. So any competitive examination usually has 4 major subjects: logical reasoning, quantitative aptitude, GK, GS and English language. But for the RRB NTPC, the language section is not there. So you can omit or not consider that in this case. Okay. So let's say a rough preparation plan of 6 months is given to you. So for the first 4 or 5 months, if you are a new aspirant, you have to focus on building concept and building fundamentals. Complete understanding conceptually from ground zero to the advanced level, right? And up with that, so this will be subject wise. With that, you need gradient practice. What is the meaning of gradient practice? Gradient practice means you gradually pick up the level of your examination. So obviously, any competitive examination is always a balance of accuracy and speed. So firstly, your focus has to be on accuracy. That is, you start, let's say if you solve 10 questions, you need to reach a position where at least minimum 9 questions are always correct. Anytime you're sitting with 10 questions, 9 have to be correct. Right? If you're sitting with 100 questions, more than 95 have to be correct. So that is your accuracy. Your accuracy has to go till 95%, at least, or plus more than that. That is when you will now start working on your speed. Okay. So once your accuracy is there, then you will work on the speed. So this is part 1. Part 2 is, don't immediately rush to a lot of difficult questions. It's a very common concept in a lot of students that competitive examination, mostly difficult questions will be asked. So let's start solving them. Once you reach at a stage, you start getting saturated and then your hunger for more increases. But that needs to be curbed. You need to know when to stop, because this is the level of the examination has to be understood. I told you 1 notch, at maximum 2 notches above. Don't prepare for other competitive examinations and sit for this examination. I mean, you don't have to do that, right? So keep in mind the level of the examination. Even if you feel it is easy, stick your preparation in that zone only. And the third one is sectional mocks. Now in this section, in this time, in this zone, whenever you are completing topics, okay, for subjects, you can start giving sectional mocks gradually. They're all available on the platform. So you can start giving sectional mocks gradually and regularly to check yourself how much accuracy is coming up and what is the speed. And then push yourself to increase the speed. Once you're there on the accuracy mark, push the speed up, right? Keep practicing on the sectional mock so that you get to understand how exactly you will feel in the examination for that particular subject, and your confidence level builds up and increases. Once this section, this part is over, you are actually coming to the end of your preparation phase. Then you will only focus on this complete revision. So you have crisp notes from here and important questions. You will keep revising that. Keep revising that. Competitive examinations are always cracked by revision. So keep revising that, and here you give full length mocks and previous year papers. So the oliveboard platform also provides you with previous year paper in the form of mocks, right? So you can also appear for that. Also attempt full length mocks which are completely at par the examination level, right? So utilize that, create an examination environment so that you will learn how to tackle last moment nervousness. And if you practice it, let's say 20, 30, 40, 100 times before you sit for the actual exam will become much easier for you. It will start feeling like cakewalk. Okay. And the most important aspect here is detailed self-analysis and assessment. So mocks initially are not to judge your current standing. Don't fall into that trap. Do not look at how many marks are you getting. Once you're done with this section, you think that you know everything, but you're still lacking in places which you don't realize. This mock section actually helps you as an indicator. This helps you identify those topics where you are lacking, which are your weakness, and you simply have to identify those and work on those. Build your preparation. Repeat, build, repeat, build. Come back to this if you need to for those particular topics. Practice more. Attempt another mock. Now see whether that weakness is eliminating or not. Gradually this will pick up. Let's say you are sitting for 40 mocks. You are going to give 40 mocks. So start looking at the marks of the mocks for the last 10 mocks when you are almost near the examination, not in the first 30. The first 30 is only about learning and improving, right? So Try it like that, because otherwise you will get very demotivated, and that is not how to go ahead. Okay, detailed self-analysis and assessment is very important. So after each mock, don't forget to analyze and assess it completely. You should manually also do that, though oliveboard takes care of that part also. There is a complete AI analysis which happens, which will give you a complete detailed report card as to what was your strength area, what was your weak areas, and where you need to work, what was your percentage of correct answers versus wrong answers. Everything is given to you. But reading that, understanding that is very good. Apart from that, your manual assessment, what you assess about yourself, is also very important, right? Now, let's come to general strategy overall for any competitive examination, or generally for all subjects, right? So, when you're starting your preparation, getting familiar with the syllabus and the format is absolutely important. So, you need to get into extreme details of what exactly is asked, how much is the scope, until what level have you to go. Next is, you'll have to prepare a timetable and adhere to it strictly. Obviously, I mean, I don't need to elaborate on this point. Having a set goal and having a scheduled path to walk on makes it easier for you to reach your destination. So keep that in mind. Study all subjects every day. Don't, like, some students they develop favorites. It's very common for you to develop reasoning as your favorite subject, or quant as your favorite subject, or GK/GS as your favorite subject, which happens very rarely, but anyways. So then you start studying that repeatedly and you start ignoring the others. You thinking that, okay, when the examination will come, I'll cover this also. It's very easy. That will create panic and havoc at the last moment. So what you need to do is you have to study everything every day. So create your timetable in a way where you define and divide your time accordingly, right? Laying not equal importance to all the subjects, but laying importance to all the subjects. Understand what I'm trying to say here. Avoid procrastination at all costs. Procrastination is not only a problem for students, but it is also a problem for every individual human being. But it can be overcome, right? So stop pushing everything behind, that okay, later. That's never going to happen. I'll start studying from Monday, I'll start studying from the 1st, I'll start studying from next week. Never going to happen. Let me enjoy the afternoon and I'll start studying from the evening, I'll sit at the night. Never going to happen. Don't push it. If you want to study, start studying immediately. Start studying now. Whatever you have to do, do it now. Okay? So avoid procrastination. And one of the primary reasons of procrastination is that when you look at something, if you look, supposedly you look at the syllabus seems to be too vast, and that is the moment you start getting scared of it. The first thing which you look at, if you look at your final goal and it appears to be too unachievable, you start getting demotivated from the very instant and you start pushing that task away. That is what procrastination is all about, right? You have to start from the basics, clear your concepts thoroughly, and follow gradient practice. Already told you so. You have to avoid distractions. So distraction and deviations means something like Instagram or Facebook or any other social media platform where you might get deviated and you might end up wasting a lot of your time. This is a scientific analysis which has proven that our brain is actually getting rotten. Why? Because the neurons are getting rewired. Because we are constantly not physically involving ourselves. We are constantly not giving any activity to our brain, and we are constantly hitting high dopamine levels because of, watching reels. So use educational content, use it wisely. And I'm not asking you to completely refrain from it. You can use your social media to stay connected, but use it as a reward system. That okay, in this day, if I complete this task and if I do this goal, then I can give myself 2 hours off or 1 hour of social media in the day. Do that. And sit in a calm environment. Okay, this actually helps. Sometimes you are just too frustrated. Nothing is getting into your head. You are sitting at your study table. Maybe there's a lot of noise around, a lot of disturbance is happening. There are some people over and it is just not working out. Walk out of that place. Just walk out of the place. Take your books, go to a park. Maybe early in the morning. The birds are chirping, there is sunrise, and it's going to be a different atmosphere altogether. You will not only learn better, but you will also feel better. You will feel more motivated and you might have a longer sitting there, right? So do that. Just change your settings once. Okay. Now we'll move on to the subject specific strategy. So if you're preparing, I would say for quantitative aptitude or logical reasoning, then you have to start, you can start from NCERT or the fundamentals also if you really want to, right? So you can do your concept buildings, or you can also refer to any of the faculties at oliveboards on YouTube, right? So you can understand your concepts from there, your basics from there, your fundamentals from there, and then create your short notes. Always tackle difficult topics first. Again, this is a part of procrastination. Eat the frog first so that everything else becomes easy later on. Practice calculations separately. Yes, this is a problematic point for a lot of students, specifically for a lot of non-tech students. Non-tech means students which are coming from a non-technical background. They face difficulties specifically in reasoning and mathematics where the calculation aspect comes up. So you have to practice calculation separately so that it speeds up the process. Okay. Why? Because a lot of us are stuck into our old ways. You are multiplying with the old methods. You are taking very long, methods to divide two numbers. That is going to consume a lot of your time. It has to be fast. It has to be quick. And fast and quick can not only be by short tricks, but also saving time in between how you are solving the questions. So take care of that. So practice calculation separately. And yes, this is the point I was telling you already about related to procrastination. The syllabus will seem large, so you break down in smaller achievable goals and reward yourself for each achievement. Apart from that, you can remember short tricks like percentages in fraction form, that is in quantitative aptitude. You can use Vedic mathematics for faster calculations, multiplication, squares, square roots, cubes, cube roots, etc. Embrace change is a very important point. I'll tell you why. A lot of students, a lot of educators will give you some short tricks or some new methods or maybe some methods which might reduce your time. But you are so set in your own ways that you don't want to push it. What you will do is, you will try to solve it with a new method. It is going to be difficult for you to understand initially, and you will then figure out that, okay, this is only saving 5 seconds. Why to waste my time? Leave it. I have a lot of other things to study. That is where you start losing out, right? So embrace change. Push yourself for that change. Gradually, it will become your new habit and you will be okay with that. For logical reasoning, learn the place values of English alphabet in both forward and reverse order and learn it. Don't depend upon charts. Just don't write it down during your examination. Don't depend upon mnemonics or short tricks here. Learn it. And you don't have to rote learn it. You just have to write it at one place, stick it on a wall, just keep watching it regularly when you are coming, and start solving your questions and start recalling those place values or reverse place values. Gradually, they'll all set at the back of your mind in your subconscious. So you don't have to work hard for that separately. For quantitative and logical reasoning, I would say, learn the perfect squares and cubes of the numbers. Very important. Yeah, you can also create a list of special numbers, which I usually tell about in my regular sessions. So you can meet me there and I'll let you know. And practice the art of letting go. Now, how is this important and relevant here? I'll tell you. So a lot of times you get very emotionally attached to a topic. And if you sit in your mocks or in your examinations, you see that topic that becomes your favorite. Supposedly blood relations becomes a favorite topic. You're sitting in your exam and blood relations, and the examiner knows this, that blood relations is a hot favorite for a lot of students in logical reasoning. So they purposefully twist the question in blood relations. Now you end up wasting a lot of your time assuming that I am a champion at blood relations. I should be getting this. In the examination, let it go. 30 seconds, 35 seconds tops. If you're able to get the logic, good. If not, just leave it. Don't let it hurt your self-respect. You are well prepared, because if you'll start doing this with 2 questions, 3 questions, 4 questions, you will lose out on everything. Right? So in future, I'll also bring out a video on how to attempt mocks and how to learn how to sit for a competitive examination. That will help you better. Okay. So I'll just summarize here quickly. So what did I share with you? I told you about the blueprint, the complete analysis, how to do it yourself, how you can add to that data, and how you can analyze and, walk that extra mile. We also discussed about complete examination strategies, complete preparation strategies pertaining to general strategies and subject-wise strategies as well. So hopefully this video was helpful to you, right? Do subscribe to this channel and hit the like button, and give us your feedback in the comment section if you're liking this content which we are bringing for you.